Hey, Peter, do you want to hear some trivia?
Oh, mate, I love a good game of trivia.
Guess what happens when a chook and two pelicans get together?
What's that, mate?
A clucking good time. That's right, you pelicans. The wobbly chook has jumped on board, keeping the bird presence strong. Whether you like a pale ale, brown ale, IPA, or a lager, the wobbly chook has you catered. Crafted from Yamba's finest chooks.
Better still, Mick, how do we get some wobbly chook?
That's easy, P2. Jump online at www.wobblychookbrewingco.com or pop in to 26 Cole Street in the heart of Yamba.
And have a clucking good time.
Cluck out.
Cuckoo! Always remember, don't be a mud gudgeon and drink responsibly.
Welcome back to another episode of the Two Pelicans Podcast. So you would have just missed that.
G'day, you Pelicans.
Here he was. You were sort of hung up on his
Go and have a good time there a bit later on.
Pelicans landing in 3, 2, 1.
All right. Welcome back to the Two Pelicans Podcast. I'm Mick.
I'm Bo.
And we are the Two Pelicans. We're here to make fishing great once again. One cast, one throw, one story at a time. And, funnily enough, on another Wednesday here in old glorious Grafton, and you wouldn't read about it, but we've actually had rain today again.
Yeah. Always raining here in Grafton. Not so sunny Grafton.
I'm sick of this rain, and it's just we're going to have to drown my sorrows in a wobbly chook. So, anyhow, that's what I'm going to do for the next hour is have a chook or two.
Yeah. Sounds like a plan.
Mate, what have you been up to this week?
Little bit of mangrove jack fishing.
Ooh.
Not in the river because pre-fish ban, so before any of you other mud gudgeons out there going, he's fishing the Clarence. No, I'm not.
Yeah, right. So this is the QFFT that's
State of Origin round coming up this week.
Righto. We'll get into that. We'll get into that a little bit later.
After.
Yeah, we've got something going on there, so we'll talk about that later. So look, that's cool. I didn't actually realise there was a ban in place, but that's good to know.
Yep. No. So the last day of fish was on the Sunday. So and then ban for the week until Friday, which is fine.
Yeah, I think that's a good thing to do.
Yeah. So no, I've been working down Coss Harbour, so finished work and then sneak out to the little Whoopee Creek there on the way home and
nice.
Just throwing some splash prawns and some little jackal chubbies and got a couple of nice little jack. So
cool.
Yeah,
well done, man.
Yeah, nothing huge.
No. Jack's a jack.
Yeah, 36.
Got to brag about this shit.
36, 42. So
it's 42 is getting all right for a little river fish there. So
that's been me. So
it's funny, like just talking about them splash prawns. Don't mangrove jack and trevally just love the shit out of them.
It's the go. Yeah, if you want to catch a jack or play around in an estuary, a splash prawn, it really doesn't matter what time of the day, year, anything. You throw that little sucker and it's getting boofed.
If you ever go up the Kalang with a splash prawn, you're going to lose it, I can tell you now. The trevally in there are like pretty big. And we've had a few days there. Old Lenny the Decky and I on a few little competitions of COVID classics. Been up there and man, he hooked like a 67 centimetre one or something, like pretty much on brim gear, man. It was just horrendous, I don't know. It took him like 20 minutes to land it. Like I've never, and he was dodging bloody anchor ropes and everything, and he landed it. He did land it. So it's one of the few fish Lenny's landed. Love you, Lenny. But jokes aside, them splash prawns are dynamite in that sort of thing. So, yeah, mate. Anything else been happening?
And no, just working up and down that highway.
Yeah. No, look, I haven't been doing a hell of a lot of it. Yeah, work's obviously taken a little bit of my time out. I'm going to have a few weeks off, but I really don't know what I'm going to do other than wet a line. I don't know where, but I did have this great idea to go down to Hawkesbury for a muck around fish, and then I thought, bugger it, I'll get stuck in some sort of mindset that I don't want to be in when I get there for the real thing. So I'm going to ditch that and probably sort of hoping the ocean gets down a bit. Maybe next week I'm going to try and get out on the weekend, but we'll see how we go.
some snapper fishing in your boat would be good.
Yeah. So I just went and got a couple of little a little gaffy tool that I've sort of thought I better get on board just in case I do need it, and just an upgrade of a torch because I really don't know where my other torch ended up, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
So, and always trying to meet the requirements of fishing, boating safety. So anyhow, look, not much happened to me on the weekend other than I got full mud gudgeoned, and so did half my mates in the streets. We had a couple of unwanted characters turn up at 5:30 on the Saturday. They knocked off a couple of cars, went through mine. Good news is I had nothing really valuable in there other than I had a $300 set of Oakleys in the glass compartment there, in the sunglass compartment in the car, and I obviously didn't worry about that. They were just after the $5 of shrapnel that I had. So if they were that bad off for it, they can fucking have it. So, but there's a few cars missing. The boys will get that sorted out, don't you worry. And I think one of the guys was going to get his car back today. So fun times.
Very interesting.
I guess the other thing we've been up to was I did go out for a fish on the weekend with local legend Goffy, or as it turned out to be, a boating run. It was pretty quiet on the Sunday for him and I down the river, but it wasn't too bad, and got to meet in person a couple of guys from the Trucking Podcast, so that was really nice to see them on the water and having a crack. It was really good.
Yeah, they'll be out there having a fish on the weekend too.
Best of luck to all them competitors for the weekend, and I hope it fishes well for everyone here on the Clarence.
Except Queensland. Fuck Queensland.
Yeah, they want to come down here and talk the talk. I hope you boys bloody walk the walk, eh?
Yeah, nah. We're not brim fishing this weekend, boys.
Yeah.
Shit, I better catch him now.
Yeah. Well, this is obviously the platform where we probably get the piss taken out of us if we don't perform. So I suspect that we will probably cop some of that into the not so near distant future. All right. Anything else happening?
I did do a little pre-fish on Sunday. I didn't go out in a boat. I just...
Yeah, that sort of really alludes to where you went, but that's good.
Yep. I just poked around. If anyone knows what I do,
ABT motto, who shares wins, I hear?
Yeah. Nah, I'm not sharing this time. No, if you know me, you know what I do. And it's not rocket science at the moment.
It's not men either, so that's good. So any other... All right, so so obviously you got a couple, but it was good to see you get out.
Yeah.
Hello.
And look, I think our guest has came on.
Hello.
Ready to go. Hello, Paul.
Hey, mate, how you going? Good to see you.
Good, mate. How are you?
How you going, Paul? You're on the Two Pelicans podcast, and we were just about to get to you, but you beat us to it.
Oh, yeah, this button come up and said join, so I hit the join button.
It definitely wasn't a scam, was it?
No. I didn't have to put my credit card number in yet.
That's good. All right, well, look, we might just go through to that segue. Would you like to do the introductions, Mr. P3?
Yeah, okay. So on today's episode, we have Paul Allwood from QFFT, the tournament director. He's coming in here today to speak to us about, not really to speak to us, but to give us his story on how he got started and pretty much how good his comp is, because the comps that he runs are pretty special, and we'll get a little bit more involved into that. And I'm not just talking about the cheesecake.
Yeah. Okay.
So
I've heard about this cheesecake, but yeah. Yeah, look, so welcome to the show, Paul. Look, I guess just the prelude of Bose there is, I guess where did fishing start for you to start off with? And from there, I guess, how did the tournament thing start up?
Yeah, it all started up when COVID hit and no one could go bloody tournament fishing or bass fishing. And a couple of the other tournaments sort of pulled the plug on what they were doing and didn't want to do it. And I just thought, there's got to be an opening there to start something up so people can go out and have a bit of competition and a bit of fun and enjoy bass fishing again.
That's it. Enjoy bass fishing. Enjoy fishing, making fishing great again. That's what we're all about here at the Two Pelicans. So that started up around COVID. You start up a teams series, obviously in Queensland, and now what are we in now? 5 years it's been run for? Would that be fair to say?
Yeah, this is 5 years now, and we've gone from our first one was at Barumba Dam, and I think we had 11 or 12 people turn up. Now we're in the 50s and 60s every comp.
Wow, that's amazing, and that's really great for team events, mates. And that's definitely a testament to yourself and what you're running there. So congratulations. So
Yeah, thanks for that.
I guess, obviously with 50, 60 teams, it's a fair bit of work that's probably got to go into it as well. How would have been some of the highs of that and some of the testing moments you might want to say?
Oh, the highs, mate, is just when you see people, they come in and weigh their fishing and that, and some of the smiles on some of the people's faces and that is just, they just can't believe what they've caught. And then, someone else be there watching other people weigh in and they just say, where the hell did they catch that and stuff like that. And it's all about people bettering themselves and having a good time and, and at the end of and winning a bit of money and some trophies and that at the end of the day as well. It's to us, that's more like for everyone having a good time and socialising is more important than the competition side of it, but they go hand in hand.
Yeah. And obviously, preluding into this conversation or before you joined us, we briefly touched on the State of Origin series that's going to be held on the Clarence River this weekend. Now, it's a Queensland versus New South Wales setup. Now, I think we've lost him.
Hang on, losing you. Like you back. Yep.
Oh,
No,
there we go.
go
He's
back.
back.
He's back.
That's
we
all right.
dropped out.
Are you with Telstra?
Yeah, mate, with Telstra, yeah.
Oh, right. Oh, come on, Telstra, pick your game up. So, yeah, so coming back to that, you're doing State of Origin, or the competition comes down here for State of Origin on the Clarence this weekend. Now, from the Queensland side of things, who should the New South Welshmen be worried about?
Everybody.
They fish down here. They fish down here a bit now, so they're not as naive as what they used to be, and they don't fall for.
So they're becoming river fishermen. Is that what you're telling me?
Oh, I wouldn't say that, but they're getting better.
I wouldn't say they're coming river fishermen. They're just getting better at it. Queensland, we're pretty resilient up here, as you know, so we learn pretty quick.
Yeah.
It's a bit different when you guys come up here and fish our dams. It takes us a little bit to catch on how the bass up here, but on the other hand, you guys that come up and do it up here, they're awesome and they're learning real quick as well. So you know.
Yeah, and I guess that's the thing about these competitions is getting out there, trying something new, new techniques as well, and obviously there's a bit of difference in between the rivers and dams in that respect. So obviously, it's obviously a bit of a battle with mates and a bit of good camaraderie. Did I say that right?
Yeah, I think you got it.
Spell check that.
Yeah.
A bit of camaraderie and banter, like New South Wales ones teams against Queensland teams. It's just something we thought of a couple of years ago, and it's awesome. Like, at the end of the day, they all have fun. They all sit down on the Saturday night and they all have a feed and have a few pieces of cheesecake and a few beers and give each other a lot of banter. But other than that, it's then come Sunday they're back to fishing again.
Yeah, and Paul, how many times, or when did you start up State of Origin series? Is this the second or third year?
Third year now.
Yeah.
This is our third year.
Yeah, nice. All right.
Yeah, and we're pretty grateful with all our sponsors. Like Atomic have come on board from the day we very started doing comps and that, and they picked up doing all the teams rounds and all the State of Origin series for the last 3 years. So it's we're grateful to all our sponsors that come on board with us and help us out.
And probably shout out, I think, too, to Frogley's. Like we only just spoke about them with what they did with the ABT the other week. And we know that, they're obviously entrenched into a lot of tournament series in Australia. So massive shout out to Michael and his team in that respect. So, yeah.
Yeah, no, they definitely...
they're not bad at all, all our sponsors, every sponsor we have all round, they're just, without them, none of us have comps.
That's 100% right. Without the support of the industry, these things just can't really happen. And so, massive shout out to everyone, I guess, within that industry. For the fishermen, you need to just jump on board and get on board and support these guys that are putting the money and the products back into the passion that you guys love.
No, exactly right. And the thing is with Paul, he's got great sponsors which also accumulate to what we are fishing for. It's not just a sponsor for a sponsor.
Yeah.
Paul actually really thinks about it. I believe anyway. Sorry for speaking over you there, Paul, but I believe Paul actually thinks about it.
Oh, you're right, mate.
Has specific sponsors for certain dams and that which really match. So those sponsored gear stuff to use at those dams, they're there for a reason.
Yeah. Oh, it's good.
Exactly right. And the other thing with us, most of our sponsors will fish our comps come and fish our comps as well. So, which is a bonus in its own. They're there to see what the anglers are actually doing and thanking them themselves.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, and look, there's probably some free R&D going on there to a point for them guys as well. And this is a whole thing. I hope it's just like everyone sees it as a circle or a chain where, we get the people on board buying these products, get to use these products. And then the flip side is that some of these guys that are in the fishing development space are sort of picking up on the techniques or the discussions or I wish this lure did this just to try and tweak things a little bit more. So but anyhow, it'll be interesting to see what happens moving forward with that space. And I think we lost Paul again.
Hey, P2.
Hey, mate, what's up?
Mate, now that I've got this boat here and I've got the electronics on the way, I'm going to need some fishing gear.
Mate, you can't look flash in that new rig without some new fancy fishing gear.
I know.
Mate, I can only recommend one thing. I would head over to the Dire Australia website, mate, and make yourself a little bit of a wish list and then head into your local tackle store and see if those legends can get it in. Because if there's one thing I know, mate, Dire Australia, they have it all. Whether you want a brand new rod, a nice new shiny reel, or some new line to go on it, then you're going to need some tackle, of course. They have it all. Dire Australia is your one-stop shop, and the big supporters here, the Two Pelicans Podcast.
Our video stuff. So, look, just to snip this back for when the viewers and the listeners hear this, we just did a video sort of call. The reception didn't work as good as what we're hoping for, and now I've just called Paul on the phone. So, look, the question I was asking there before, Paul, was, look, tell us a little bit about your fishing journey, like where you started to, and I guess work through to where you've got now. I guess in the space of being a tournament director, etc.
Yeah, years ago, I've always liked fishing and that sort of stuff. Never did much lure fishing because I just thought, and then my son Terry, all know Terry Allwood, he got into it and did Bass Nation and Bass-tastic and all those others and a few of the other comps and that and did real well in it all. And I used to tag along with him and sponsor him a bit and go with him to comps and that. And I said to him one day, he said, "You're mad standing on the back of a boat throwing bits of bloody metal and plastic at a fish." and he turned around and said, "Come and have a go." And I went and had a go, and ever since then I got hooked on it. It was just, it's a challenge, and there's nothing more gratifying, I think, than trying to work out what they want to eat, how they want to eat it, and catching them.
Yeah, that's right. And fishing started for you at a young age, though, or?
I used to always fish when I was little. We used to go just offshore fishing and that. Never much. We used to go creek fishing when we were kids and that sort of stuff, but. And then I never really got into the bass end of it until Terry started doing it and just got hooked on it after that.
Yeah.
So, and spend lots of money doing it.
Yeah. And Terry's not bad at hunting barramundi as well, isn't he?
Yeah, no, he's not too bad at that either.
Yeah, that's all right.
Yeah, he's got his own charter business up there now, so he's loving what he's doing.
Yeah. No, there's a plug there. Better give him a plug. What's the charters called?
Flickit Fishing.
Flickit Fishing, Flickit
Charters, I think it is. Yeah, Flickit Charters.
Based out of?
Out of Bundaberg.
There you go, guys. So you're looking for a charter service up in Bundaberg, reach out to Terry. I'm pretty sure he'll cover any needs that anyone's got in the fishing space. So there we go. I gave him a quick plug.
You've got that, and that's not the only talented child you've got as well, is there? You've got a daughter or daughter-in-law?
Yeah, I've got my youngest daughter, Kimberly. She does. She owns runs Pearly Hayes Designs. She does all our trophies and all our checks and all our stuff for all our comps and that as well. So yeah, she's pretty awesome at that.
Yeah, no, they're pretty flash. Hopefully, I get one this weekend.
Oh yeah, you just have to stand in line, mate.
Yeah, no, I think there's a few. I think there'll be a few people fighting me for it.
Yeah. No, they're awesome, and they're all the stuff she does is all individual. You won't find another one like it anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, I've followed her on Facebook for a year now and watched some of her creations. I'm very talented with what she does.
Yeah. Like she's got laser cut machines, and we've just bought a new big vinyl cutter thing, and we've got a massive big flatbed printer that she's got now. So
yeah, right. Does that mean she's going into the boat wrapping space?
No, not that big. We'll leave the boat wrapping to the professionals, I think.
Fair enough.
Yeah, it's not an easy task wrapping a boat.
No. I'm just no good at putting a little sticker on, let alone something like that. So, yeah.
Yeah, no, she does an awesome job at what she does. So, and I sort of helped to set all that up because when we were buying trophies, like you probably know, they're so expensive. It was costing us $3,000 or $4,000 just for trophies for a grand final.
Wow.
No, they're not, and we were doing the big trophies too. We just do the tier trophies and all that. And we've got it. As Bo said, we've got our own shields and that now, our yearly shields and all that sort of stuff. And
Paul,
we decided.
Do you guys have a for someone that's sort of out of the space a little bit? And you guys have like a team of the year and a grand final sort of set up as well, do you, or is it a little bit different?
So what we do is we've got singles rounds. We've got 7 singles rounds this year plus a grand final. And they get AOI for that. They get the grand final winner. They get female of the year. There's junior of the year, all that sort of stuff. There's heaps of those. And then we also have the teams round this year teams rounds this year as well, where we have, I think there's five teams rounds and a grand final. So they get the same things, team of the year and all that sort of stuff. And we've made it this year so the 3 state of origin rounds are incorporated into the normal teams rounds.
Okay.
That just makes it easier for the New South Wales guys, and it's cheaper for them than paying a separate different round. And that plus they get AOI points towards the end of the year for their team.
Mm-hmm.
And we've made it so that the decider round, hopefully it'll be a decider round, will be at the grand final. So it will be a massive, big grand final.
Nice. And where's the grand final at?
Grand final this year, I think it's Boondoomer, I think it is.
Boondoomer, yeah. P3 shaking his head here.
Yeah,
so
I'm looking forward to
it. Yeah. Well, this weekend down there is the first round of the State of Origin.
Yeah.
And then we go to the next one. I haven't got the calendar in front of me, but it's I'll bring it up. We're looking forward to it actually. This year the boys have all been good.
Yeah.
Pity we've been washed out two comps in a row, but
yeah,
we know. I know that feeling too well, mate.
Yeah, I know, mate. We've actually moved both our rounds now. We've the round 2 singles round is now at Maroon in August.
Yeah, beautiful.
And then the one that got washed out down there 2 weeks ago, we've moved that to Mugra on the 12th and 13th of July.
Beautiful.
So the boys down there they don't have to travel far to come up to it because we just can't get in down there because of
because of Bass closed season.
The closed seasons and stuff like that.
Yeah. Understandable.
Don't worry, we'll be travelling to Mugra. Don't worry.
Oh mate, well, it was there last time everyone was there. It was awesome.
Yeah. No, that's exactly right. It's a great bass place.
And I guess that's tournament directors have got to pivot on these sort of situations. How much thought goes into having to cancel events, and how straightforward is it? And then having to realign, I guess, to fit in other circumstances later on down the year. How do you sort of break that down and come to them decisions?
Hours and hours in front of a computer and on a phone talking to people.
Yeah.
Pretty much. That's what it boils down to. For me to get my dates ready, I've already got all our dates and that planned for next year, for all our comps and everything, and I'm just waiting for a couple more OKs to come back from the proper authorities and that sort of stuff, and book them all in on that. And quite honest, the other day when we had to cancel the round down there, you can ask, I was on the phone to everyone, and I just had to make a last minute call, which I feel was the right call anyway.
No, it was the right call, mate. Like we fished the ABT brim, and even though down the river is a lot more wider, how much did it come up for us? Like,
it was definitely over a metre of water there by Sunday,
and like from the ski lot, like I think Rogan's went under Saturday at lunchtime. So
it definitely wouldn't have been good upriver. It's definitely the right
it wouldn't have been nice. But...
No. Yeah, and so I think most people sort of go, well, the right call was made and all that, but as a tournament director, it must be hard, and you're sort of like, oh, why is Mother Nature doing this to me, sort of mentality.
Yeah, I feel more disappointing letting the anglers down, like that they can't fish. You know what I mean? Like at the end of the day, I can't. I've always said to all our anglers, there's two things I can't control, and that's the weather and the fish.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, if I can leave it till the last minute to not cancel the comp, I'll leave it till then. But which is not good for a lot of anglers, because our boys, some of them take holidays and stuff like that to do the comps and stuff like that. It just makes it hard for some of them. So I've got to give them the best chance we can.
Yeah, no, that's right, and it's one of them things to weigh up, isn't it? That I guess people put time and money into the travel, accommodation, and all that, but at the same token, if there's that small opportunity that you can get on the water, then I can understand why you want to leave that to that last moment decision. It definitely makes sense. And I think most anglers are pretty, I think they realise that too deep down. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, like the amount of people that, because we had to cancel the last one down there, the amount of people that rang up and sent messages and say, you did the right thing and that sort of stuff, and that. Well, at the end of the day, it all comes down to safety.
No, that's exactly right, and
that's right.
And people need to remember that on the weekend when it's just you, that's fine. You can make the mud gudgeon decision, but when you're running a comp, you've got sponsors involved. Any incident like that can be highlighted, blown out, and it's not a good image and not a look anyone wants for their tournaments.
Oh no, that's dead right, and it's not just that; it's the legal side of it and all that sort of stuff.
Exactly.
And insurance companies turn around and say, "Well, you shouldn't have been there, you shouldn't have done that, or whatever," and then it just turns into a nightmare.
Yeah, and I've sort of often thought about them sort of things as I sort of work in what I would call a sort of risk-diverse job. That things like that, I sort of think, geez, how do we sort of, as fishermen, as tournament directors, if that does come up and it does go through, and we do fish and we've got logs coming down the river or something like that, I'm not taken away from anything or decision making that the ABT did the other week, but because there was so much water over certain areas of the river, I seen at least one guy run into a rock wall. And someone else has got his hand up there too.
I didn't run into it. I was.
You're in the boat, yeah, right. Yeah. And look, don't get me wrong. I sort of skedaddled along, and purposely too. I left the motor down a little bit just to know where my boundaries were a little bit when I was cranking. But you know what I mean. But I've seen people actually drive into rock walls. So, how that sort of gets explained back in the insurance space, if there's a lot of damage done. I don't know. I wouldn't be the person that wanted to try and explain that.
Yeah, and it's not only that. A lot of people with boats don't realise with their insurance, if there's a flood warning and your boat out on the water, some insurance companies won't cover you.
Yeah, exactly right.
That's the other thing they got to look at. A lot of people just think, your boat's insured, but it's like your car. You drive your car in the flooded water now, your insurances won't pay you. They wipe you.
Yeah, no, that definitely makes sense.
Yeah, but anyway, at the end of the day, as long as everyone's safe and everyone has a good time and everyone enjoys their fishing.
That's right. That's what it's all about. Everyone enjoying and being safe on the water, and as I guess as tournament directors, you weigh everything up before then decisions are made. So, very understandable.
Yeah, no, I'm going to throw you on the spot, Paul.
Mm-hmm.
What do you reckon? What do you reckon Big Bass is going to be this weekend? What are you hoping for?
Now we're talking bass, or we're talking EPs.
Oh, cheeky. Now we'll stick with Bass. I don't think
Mate,
APs are going to be that
I
big.
reckon I'm going to throw a limit out and say 1.6.
1.6. Yeah.
Yep.
Pretty respectful, yeah.
Yeah. No, I reckon you're pretty close there. I was thinking that 1.6, 1.7.
Yeah. Yeah.
So this time of year, I'll talk to P3 and yourself, Paul, because I'm no bass expert. But in this river, is it pretty hard this time of year to come past one that's 2 kilos?
Mate, you're asking the wrong person here. I'm a Queenslander.
That bit of fresh that last flood, there's every chance we could get a 2 kilo. There could be a 2 kilo. Like that rain's come down this river, perfect time for any fish way up river that hasn't spawned since 2022 that maybe wanted to make the decision to come down. I know I'm sort of hoping that I'm going to see some resemblance of the 2002, 2003 types part with this water. But look, there is every chance that someone could blade one up. I reckon it will come off a blade, a big one. But yeah, in saying that, there's going to be a lot of fish caught on surface. There's your hint.
There you go. There's a hot tip. There's a hot tip from P3.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, hopefully all our boys are listening.
Yeah, that's as much as I'm sharing.
Yeah. It's all good, mate. And at the end of the day, it was still it's a rivalry between New South Wales and Queensland and angler against angler. But at the end of the day, 99% of us are all good mates and we all get on.
No, and that's exactly right. And that's the beauty about this competition, this teams event. It's that little word, state of origin. Like, we're all best mates. We camp together. We talk. We message. There's groups of us that talk 3 times a week. But when you throw state of origin in the mix, it's like feeding sharks.
Yeah, not wrong.
What are the cheesecakes going to be? This is the big question everyone wants to know.
Mate, give us some background to this cheesecakes stuff. I've heard this before. I know nothing about it.
Well, it all started when we first started doing our comps. We'd have the first couple of comps and that, and people would go and sit over there in their little group or whatever, and someone else would sit over there, and they wouldn't talk to each other, as this group. And they'd say hello and that sort of stuff. And that wasn't what our comps were about. We wanted people to socialise. So my darling wife came up with the idea where we'll do them a feed on a Saturday night, cook them a feed and everything, and some dessert with her. So, and she makes cheesecakes, as most people know. And she said, well, I'll make a couple of cheesecakes. And that's where it all started from. And since then, we've seen people sitting around at the table at 1 o'clock in the morning after tea, still talking.
And look, it is one of the beautiful things about your comp, mate, I must add. Like, I've done a few of your comps now, and it doesn't matter if you're in the Clarence or if you're up at Cania in Queensland. Like, they're exactly the same. Dinner, big table, everyone sharing, drinking, laughing. Like, it is a night. And, like, some of the times it's not even about the fishing. And, like, that's hard for me to say. Like, I love bass fishing and I am competitive as all fuck. But the socialising and the camaraderie at these comps is second to none, Paul, and that is a huge credit to you and Sue.
Yeah, I appreciate that. My biggest drama with every comp is the week before my wife asked me, what cheesecakes do I make this week? I don't get them at home. She only makes them for all the anglers.
Right. I tell you what you should do, Paul. You should get hold of that Anthony Duff, because he's pretty good at sort of whacking stuff together. And I think Paul or his wife does a bit of cooking for a few little comps locally that he seems to enjoy on the boat a fair bit.
Yeah. He usually ends up taking, when we come down there, if there's any cheesecakes left over, he usually ends up taking them home.
Oh, so that's where they go, right?
That's where they go. Yeah.
Right, that's all been let out now.
I thought he was putting a few pillow on.
Yeah, right. I know whose door I'm knocking on Monday.
Yeah. No, hopefully it's supposed to be a little bit of rain around this weekend, but we'll see. But it's what it is what it is. We just got to do what we got to do when we got to do it.
Yeah, no, a few gazebos, I reckon, and a couple of wet weather jackets on, and I think everyone will be fine.
Yeah, good thing with the clearance because we run it out of the ski lodge. We've got their nice big camp kitchen there where everyone can sit in there, and it's not a drama.
Yeah, no, they accommodate us very well there. That's for sure.
They do. They are. It's cost wise, but it's just you've got to do what you got to do.
Yeah.
And so Doomba is probably everywhere we go. It's just awesome. The people, they all look after us. They accommodate us because they know at the end of the day what we bring into them.
Yeah, you know what? It's funny you should mention that because I sort of sit here on the Brim side of things a little bit, and I guess there's one good comparison there that must be really good is everyone's sort of staying in the one area, especially around the dam sort of side of things. And everyone, sort of does have to, whether they like it or not, they are going to get to know each other somehow, some way, because you're stuck at that same spot sort of thing just about. So, it's definitely, and on top of that too, a lot of these metropolitan or regional places where you get on the water, council do jam you with, a lot of fees to hold events. And I'm sort of thinking that Bass, in dams especially, they are probably screaming for you guys to come out there and have these sort of events.
Yeah, a couple of them do. A couple that sort of are a bit hard to deal with, but we just got to learn to deal with that. Like when we go down to Corokai at the Richmond there, and the town absolutely loves us. They bend over backwards for us. The lady
the pub says, "Do you want karaoke on that night?" Like
last year we went there. When we went there last year and we turned up on the Thursday night and we few of us had tea and that, and then we said to him, I said, we'll have our briefing at the pub here on Friday night, and you probably have a few blokes for meals. They were still cooking meals at 11 o'clock.
Wow, how good's that?
They didn't realise how many people were going.
Yeah. And, just a heads up, if P2 ever comes along and fishes any of these things and there is a karaoke machine nearby, don't let him fucking near it.
I know he gets like his little inner Japanese boy out and.
Oh dear, mate. Yep. Yeah. No, we're back at Corokai at the end of this year for another round down there. So it'll be good.
Round. All right. I don't want you to throw anyone under the bus, but as we've said, you've been a tournament director now for 5 years. And I don't want any names, but I know personally with running and helping tournaments, I've seen some pretty good blunders. What's the biggest blunder, stuff up, oopsie, whatever you want to call it, you've seen while being a tournament director?
And who's the biggest pest?
Oh, yeah. I already think I know who the pest is. But yeah, I'll let you.
Blunder in what? When you mean by blunder, you mean by what?
Fishing stuff up, boating stuff
or
up.
what the anglers do?
No, not you. You don't make any mistakes. That should get me some brownie points when weighing in. Angler. The biggest stuff up blunder you've seen by an angler could be fishing, hooks, boating, falling out of his camp tent.
Where do you want to start? Well, probably a few of them is I've done this one myself. I've only ever done it once, and that was this year. The first time I ever done it, left me bung out of my boat.
Oh yeah.
Last year, one of the Clarence round, I think 2 New South Wales people did it one after another. But yeah, there's lots of things, like it's just where do you start? There's all that sort of things, and we actually have a thing with our comp at the teams ones for the state of origin. There's a hard hat and a vest. If you have a whoopsie or a stuff up on the weekend, you got to wear that.
Yeah, no, I like that. We used to do that for some cricket tournaments back in the day, so that sounds like a very good idea.
Oh, yeah, and it's all in a bit of fun. The guys wear it.
And do you want to mention who the biggest pest is that fishes in your tournaments?
Mate, I don't think we don't have a pest. Our biggest pest is the bloody weather.
Oh, you're too nice.
I was about to say, I think some boys got away there a bit lightly.
Yeah. No, all our guys are pretty good. It's and guys and girls, there's no one that's really annoying at all.
No, and it must be good, obviously to get 60 teams to these events. Obviously a lot of people are getting along with everyone and are happy with in how the events are being run. So it's obviously a testament to yourself and the work that you do.
Yeah, well, the first thing, like when I very first started, I've always said to the guys, if there's a problem, we deal with it there and then at the comp. We don't wait till 6 months later or 6 weeks later and put it all over Facebook and everything. If you've got a problem, you bring it to me and we deal with it there and then before we go home.
Yeah.
And we've only ever had that once, and it was dealt with there and then forgotten and over and done.
Yeah. And I think people do appreciate that if something does come up.
Yeah. You know, everyone has their little gripes and things about stuff and like that. Oh, someone did this and someone did that. Well, that's fishermen.
Yeah. Whinging bastards.
Yeah, it's always someone else's fault. All right, Paul, on that moment, we might let you go, mate, and get ready. We know you've got to get ready to start travelling down here to beautiful
got to go and pack.
Grafton.
We've got to go and pack the car up and the boat up, and I'm bringing both my utes down this weekend because someone else has got to bring their boat down behind my other ute, so it'll be all good.
All right,
no
mate.
worries.
Thank you so much for joining us on the Two Pelican Podcast.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you, Paul.
It was all fun.
And just before we just finish up, so you guys are obviously on Facebook. Do you guys have a website?
Yeah. Just Queensland Water. I'm getting old here. Queensland Freshwater Fishing Tournaments on Facebook, and the same thing with our website. I don't know what it's called. I don't do that.
www.that.com.
www.freshwaterfishing.com.
Perfect, mate. Thanks for your time, and thank you for joining us on the show.
Thank you guys for having us, and we'll see you on the weekend.
Good on you.
Will do, mate. See you then, mate. Bye.
See ya. Bye.
What a legend.
And look, any listeners there, if you want to reach out to Paul and the Facebook page, obviously Freshwater Fishing Tournaments. That's right, isn't it? Queensland Freshwater Fishing Tournaments. It is a bit of a tongueful, isn't it?
Yeah.
But yeah, look, get in touch, have a look. Look, there's a lot of guys that fish it. If you have any questions about it, reach out to them anglers. I'm sure they'll be happy to help and put you in the right place to maybe get yourself ready to have a bit of a bash around in the bass teams competition realm. So thanks, Paul, for that. Where are we up to now? Because we've sort of done a bit of a arse about with this show, which is typical of the Two Pelicans podcast.
No, that's it. That's just how we roll. Well, actually, I was sort of going to maybe start a quick little new segment of just some new products that I found that I like using, and that I want you guys to have a look at and go check out. So give me 2 seconds.
Yep. And even you guys could actually make a comment and tell us what you think of these products.
You can tell me if it's...
Do they work? What do you like to do them? How do you fish them? Do you use a 1/30th or do you use a 2 ounce? Who knows, right? So here we go. He's got his stuff here.
I've got my
now,
stuff.
You're going to get yourself up to the camera a little bit wobbly. We're kicking the table like fucking... We're sort of like, what do you call them? Like puppets, really? Puppets.
I think that's more of a bloody... That's a credit to puppets. All right, so here we go. So a couple of new lures that I'm really liking at the moment, and they are the Vibin 80Rs from Baramba. So little colours there. I've got 2 at the moment. I'm finding them really effective on the bass.
And once again, probably a credit to Matt there. He just comes up and picks things up and just makes them better. Now that's the little stinger hook slot thing. There's probably a technical word for it, but I have seen this before, and he has spoke to me about it before.
Yeah, so they're his little stinger hooks. It's little like a vibe. It's pretty much a vibe.
It's a vibe, yeah.
Vibe with stingers. I've thrown this into some pretty nasty stuff. And I usually use a TN with single.
Yes.
And I'm throwing these into the same pretty much stuff.
Yep.
At the moment with the dirty border in Grafton, these things have been dynamite for me.
Yeah. A lot of noise.
Yeah.
I get, the thing is that obviously they've got the vibration, but you've got the rattlers in it as well, or the bearings. So,
but my big thing is at the moment is I'm finding the fish aren't hitting. So very much similar to how me and you were fishing a couple of months or so ago. And these stingers are that sticky. A lot of nose hooks.
They should just jam in, hopefully.
Yeah, go check them out. New one is...
Drop something there.
Oh, no. Yeah.
Is that important?
Yeah, that is important.
Put lipstick on before you go down there.
Yep. Oh, whoop. That's not toothpaste. Okay, and next is the new jig heads, the Grip R.
Mm.
These jig heads have been designed for specifically for Crush City lures.
Yeah.
Now, look, that's not saying
Hang on.
that.
Yep.
That's not saying that these jig heads aren't great for other plastics, because they are, and they do grip on. But the technology in these with that little grip on them, little Grip R there, just holds this material of plastic on so much better to other jig heads on the market. I'm not going to mention any other names because I still use and like those jig heads. But when I'm using the Crush Cities, I am now using the VMCs. They hold much better, and I'm finding that on short hits, I'm not getting much pullback and having to muck around and waste time and that. So, yeah, go check out the VMC Grip R jig heads, new on the market. Yeah, they're good. And
sick.
People might say that I'm got some new hat, new jumper, and that. These guys are Headwater Art & Co. They make these cool bass stickers plus plenty of other apparel as well. I've got a Barramundi jumper on. I've got the bass hat. They do jungle perch, mangrove jack, like
fucking Monday.
Yeah, great fella. Business up in Noosa. Also, any of the listeners that like fly fishing, he also has a huge range of handmade flies and custom fly rods and that as well. I don't mind playing with a noodle rod every now and again. His one's a way out of my limit, but his apparel for jumpers, hats, and t-shirts are second to none and really well priced. So go check out Headwater Art & Co. You will not be disappointed. That's my little thing for the week.
That's your little thing. All right. Well, we're going to try and keep doing stuff like that. We obviously, when we were in the P2's family-owned tackle shop there at Casino Outdoors, we sort of did a few of them, and I think we should keep that tradition going. Look, I'll be interested to hear how you go on the Baramba stuff over the weekend, because I do think they do definitely have a point of difference that do offer anglers an opportunity to hopefully set them hooks when it's a little bit of a twinky, shitty little bite.
Yeah,
so,
and Queensland Dams, my boy Elion has been whacking big fish in Queensland Dams. Before the cyclone, so it was a little while ago. But Queensland Dams, they were going off as well. So,
all right. We might just move into a little bit of news. Any news from yourself, P3?
Yeah, actually, I got a little bit of news. I heard a little bit of news today. Sort of affects us in our local Clarence Valley Fishing Club comp. Some people are happy. Some people are pissed off. Some people are...
Oh, shit. Hold my beer. All right, what's going on?
If we were having this conversation an hour ago, I was one of the pissed off ones. Not because of that it's a spot I like to fish and that.
I know where this is going.
You know where it's fucking going. Yeah. I'm more pissed off about, one, that it's not a law done by Maritime or anything like that. And two, you're not going to like this because you've got friends that work on there. And they've rubbed me up the wrong way. I've been very respectful to them, but they rubbed me up the wrong way. The wankers on the ferry. Like, I've never fished in their cable lines. I've always done the right rules going past and all that. There's a certain spot I like to fish and that. And look, I can catch fish everywhere in the fucking river. I don't need people going, no, you don't need that to catch fish. Rah, rah, rah. I've heard it already, right? But anyway, so Clarence Valley Fishing Club has now banned the ferry at Lawrence there, fishing 50 metres either side of the thing. That is now exclusion zone. It's the same for ABT, so it's not really a big thing. But my thing is that it's just a local little comp. Like, it's the whole river should be fishable.
Yeah,
If I can fish that on a Friday in my boat without maritime fisheries coming chasing me out, why can't we fish it on a tournament?
Yeah.
And look, I know on a tournament day, starting from Broshgrove, starting from Grafton, there's 20 other boats that are faster.
There'll be
than
a select
my
ones that
can get there. But I just But anyway, that's
look, I guess
my news for the week.
my thoughts are with that is that I look, And this is sort of like you said, this is stemmed from some ABT rules, and
I think the accident that happened not so long ago on the ferry. I think
that's something to consider. And trust me, no one has suffered more. Like obviously not with two ferries running. Where as a commuter, I enjoyed them two ferries, and unfortunately with what happened, and condolences to them people. Now it's back to one, probably because of that situation. So, what I would say is, but ABT have come up with that rule. I like the idea that we do follow some of that stuff to sort of make it the new norm. Change is hard, I think, sometimes for people. And what I would say is that they done something similar, I guess, with Lake Macquarie and the fact that they took out the bridge.
Well, that was my next question. What's next? Rogan's Bridge?
Yeah.
Where do we stop? Where do we draw the line in the fucking sand?
Yeah. Look, that's a fair comment. I think ferries is probably one of them things. Well, there's moving things going on. The bridge was probably taken more out of it's a place where tight and everything else. But both of them sort of have some level of safety around them. And look, I'm not a super bass angler, so I couldn't give two fucks, to be honest. But I sort of see where them guys are going with that now. Who knows? That may change. And you're right, something else might come up in the future that needs to be addressed.
I'm more pissed off that we're just caving into the ferry drivers, to be honest. I don't care that the ferry. I'm just pissed that we're caving to the ferry drivers. They've upset me. And now they've upset me again.
Yeah. And I'd love a second ferry, but here we are.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyhow, look, that's any other news after that?
No, man, I've just been prepping, getting ready for the comp this weekend.
Yeah.
As you can see, the rooms are
It's been a while for in between drinks
everywhere.
for a bass round.
Yeah. And I've got to untie for the first time. I've got to actually tie rods. No bass gears tied on. I've got jack stuff and brim stuff.
Yeah.
So
you'll be right on 4 pound, mate.
Yeah, no, that's right.
All right. So look, something that did pop up over the course of the last few days over on the American scene is that Scott Martin has withdrawn himself out of the rest of the Bass Elite Series due to some, I don't know, discussion around talking about fishing or not staying within the guidelines that Bass set. Now, I haven't really looked too much at it other than to say that there's talks about that he passed a polygraph, and this is what they do over there. We're talking big money, big things right
But
here.
this wasn't Bassmaster polygraph. This was a third party.
So this was a third party. So I don't know whether you can have any substance in and around that. And don't get me wrong, there's nothing to say that the Bass polygraphers or who they engage do or don't do a better job. I think it was and I think the other side of it was he got to sort of choose the line of questioning to a degree around it. So it just seems all a bit strange, and I hope that them guys over there sort of clean some of that up. But I mean, Scott's obviously the son of a legend in Roland, so and obviously his family or daughters fish in tournaments as well. So the other side of that is that obviously it's probably heavily impact on their family. So look, it's a strange thing, and maybe that's why he's withdrawn, just to try and stop the hype going on about it. But very strange that this has happened.
I find it crazy because to me, it's one of the beautiful things about going to a comp is just talk and chop.
Yeah, that's right. And
like, I don't think he's dumb enough to be like, "Hey, buddy, what are they getting him off the pads?"
Yeah. Look, and it must be hard. Like, we in Australia here, we talk shop all the time. We some people like to brag about it. Some people don't say anything about it. but there's no rules about it, I suppose, is the point. So anyhow, that's what's happening over there with that, and obviously all the tariff wars going on. So, but
it would be really cool to get an angler over there to chat to us, to just give us some actual insight on.
Oh, you're right. Are you setting up a challenge here? With the sounds of this?
Yeah. I'm gonna find someone, guys.
Righto.
I'll find someone.
We'll see.
Because I want to know more. Because
Pelicans.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how good our journalism skills are. Because down
Haven't been real good so far.
Well, it could be breaking news.
Yeah,
something could happen. But yeah, because for us down here, well, for me anyway, in Little Old Grafton, I'm finding it so bizarre.
Yeah, that's right. I sort of find it bizarre as well, and I think the American fishing scene is probably the pivotal thing that the world's looking at and watching, and things come out of that where other countries might try and adapt certain things, and if they're sort of not getting this sort of thing right, it's gonna. I think it might hurt Bass a little bit, but further to that, we don't want to see people disengage from angling or tournament fishing for that matter. Yeah.
No, well, look, this could be an interesting thing to ask Coney. Like, do these guys have to? Is that a rule that these guys have got to follow in their World Bass tournament?
That is a great question. And look, I did have the opportunity to speak to Chris there the other week. Them guys are starting to Chris Hickson. Them guys are starting to ramp up their next mission over to South Africa for the World Bass Championships. And look, we will try and get one of them guys on the show in the near future. So if you can just jot that question down on a piece of paper, through, that'd be good.
Yep, no worries.
Because I've got a memory like a fucking sieve.
Funny. No, so if anyone else is wondering why I was smiling just then, I sent a message out to little old P2, just seeing how the boys' challenge is going.
Yes. Forgot about that.
Seeing if anything has happened. And old P2 said he hasn't even thought about a bass yet. So that tells me that it's all jewfish at the moment. So.
Actually, I should do that. I do have the poltergeist there at home. I do intend to probably get on the river this weekend. I will tie it on. I will tie that on.
You'll tie that on?
And
because you can't have him beaten now.
No. He actually he gave me, in my opinion, there's probably not a better time to sort of probably throw that now after things might be just settled down enough down the front there.
Yeah.
I have heard a couple of reports that the fish are back on again. So we'll see how we go.
Nice. And also, I've got a little message this week from someone.
Yep.
One of the listeners of the podcast, great fella, Mr. Goodwin, Bob the Builder, has sent in a little message for UP1. So we might we might play that and see what he has to say to you.
Just listening to the new episode, where P1's talking about a couple of the letters being spelt the wrong way in his rego label. Now, I'd noticed that originally, and I thought, maybe he's done that because he couldn't get the same rego label, or maybe it's just because he's from Grafton. But seeing as that was wrong and it was a mistake, and he obviously didn't see it, but you reckon you'd be able to hook him up with a sponsorship from Specsavers? I reckon a good Specsavers wrap would look really good on his new boat, and it might help him. And it might make him inspire other brim fishers that got poor eyesight, and that's why they go and chase those little fish instead of chasing some nice big bronze bass. So what do you reckon? What do you reckon, Bo? Let me know, mate.
Oh, that's gold. And you know what? Most brim fishermen do go to Specsavers because we're tying 2 to 3 pound, maybe 4. So fair call, fair comment. And you know, it's funny. Like, I sort of sit back and go, why didn't I pick that up? And my wife sort of said, "Is that spelt the right way?" And me just sort of looking at it, going, yeah, she'll be right.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, well, you sort of been waiting forever for this to sort of come to fruition, So, but no, fair call, and
thanks. Yeah,
next time when I do something and I spell it wrong, please call me out on that, so we don't have to wait to Maritime or the police or anyone else for that matter to pull me up and say, "Hey, this is wrong."
Here's a challenge for anyone. If anyone does have a little Specsavers sticker and sees old P1's boat, Whack her on there and let's see how long it takes him to find it.
Yeah, don't put it on the wrap, boys. On the gunnel, thanks. Yeah, no, I might actually go see if I've got a Specsavers sticker at home. I reckon I might have one. So
I reckon a few people will be
I'll see if I can get one, right? That might be a challenge for me over the week to see whether I can get a Specsavers sticker. But thanks Mick for that. Really appreciate it. And look, anyone, if they want to call us here or send in a message, it's 2pelicans podcast at gmail.com. Alternatively, shoot us a message on Messenger. Look, we'd love to hear the audio. Happy to read them out. If you've got a video, that's even better yet. But look, it's people like Mick that do make this show. And we haven't really pushed yarns a lot lately, but we've been getting a lot of people on to have a yarn to us. So, but we'd love to hear from some of the old guys like Wishy and maybe the Yamba Yabby and the biggest squidgy from the Murrumbidgee. A few of these guys have gone missing. Literally have gone missing. I haven't actually seen them either, so it makes me wonder whether they're in some bloody sex dungeon or something like that.
Has your mate come back from America yet? Is he back, or is he still?
Oh, well, Swano, yeah. So yeah, well, on the last episode, Craig did assure that he was getting back safely, but yeah, I might reach out to him and see what he's up to. I dare say he'd be fishing this weekend, wouldn't he?
I'm hoping so.
It's
the one time I'm hoping he is. He's pretty handy, Swano, down here.
Yeah, no, he's no mug with the reel.
No,
the rod,
not at all. Even his young boy.
Yeah, no, taught him everything he knows. But yeah, and he'll only get that gaff at him, but because we did spend a lot of time together in our misuse up in casino. So anyhow, we got anything else?
No, that's about it.
That's about it. I think we'll probably just leave that there. I'll run that after. And all right, guys, I think that is it.
Yeah,
let's just say that's it. Yeah. I think we've been going on for long enough now. Look, you've been listening to the Two Pelicans podcast. I'm Mick.
I'm Bo.
And we are the Two Pelicans. Whoa.